First of all, let me greet everyone following and listening to radio, the voice of the Great Lake region. I'm Daniel Putin Nsengimana, a Rwandan staying in South Africa. Let me take this opportunity and talk about what President Paul Kagame said about the Eastern DRC war. President Kagame claimed that the problem started during colonial time. But I ask myself how, because before Kagame arrived on power, or before he took power in Rwanda by force, there was no such a wars in eastern part of Congo. Then you can ask yourself what kind of problems Kagame was talking about. Let me ask some few questions to Mr. President Kagame, the president of Rwanda. I really like the way you became the spokesperson of M23, whereby you were defending their reasons of fighting against the government of Congo. First of all, you emphasized on saying that M23 are Congolese, and they have reasons why they are fighting, and you even said that there is more than 100,000 of Congolese refugees in Rwanda. Therefore, the way to go back in their country of origin, which is Congo, they have to fight. Those are the reasons you are talking about. And you tried to show that those Congolese who are speaking Kinyarwanda, we actually call them Banyamulenge, has no right in the DRC. That's why they are fighting. All right, Mr. President. If then that's the reason why M23 should fight, then you should remember also that Congo has more than 400,000 of Rwandese refugees, actually Hutu refugees, whom you call or you refer to FDLR. Congo did not invite them, or Congo doesn't also want or wish to have all those Rwandese refugees. Like you said that the same way you said that you did not invite those Congolese refugees in Rwanda, or you would not like them to be there. So tell us, Mr. President, if those are the reasons you are saying which causes M23 to fight, then they should be the same reasons whereby Rwandese refugees who are in the DRC should use also to fight your regime. Agree with me that if that's the case, then the FDLR also have right to fight against your regime. Mr. President, you said that the M23 did not come from Rwanda. I will agree with you unless if you said that the M23 led by Sultan Makenga, the one which attacked the Congo early 2022. But let's go a bit in the history of what is called M23 today. Remember, is a residue from CNDP, which was led by General Rwanda and the Colonel Jean Mutebusi, who were defeated in 2002 or 2003, if I'm not mistaken. You remember after the defeat of CNDP, you also created the M23, which was led by General Bosco Ntaganda and the Sultan Makenga. These were also defeated in 2013. General Bosco Ntaganda reported himself in La Haye International Criminal Court, and Makenga ran to Uganda. Early 2022, that's where Makenga led again the M23, who were a refugee in Uganda, and they went back in Congo to fight. But that does not remove the fact that your government, Mr. President, is the one supporting the M23. On the end, I will agree with you that for sure Sultan Makenga came from Uganda, and thank you also for exposing your partners in a crime, or your partners whom we work together in destabilizing the DRC. Then tell us, Mr. President, since M23 did not come from Rwanda, as you said, what were you doing in peaceful agreement which was signed in Nairobi between the DRC and the M23? What was your role? What was your engagement? If really you are not concerned about the M23, and for sure, if you're not supporting M23, why is it you, the delegation from Rwanda, which have been always present and following the negotiation between M23 and DRC, why you did not raise a voice and ask the government of Uganda, since you said that Makenga came from Uganda, why did you not raise a voice and ask if Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the president of Uganda, should go and help in negotiating the peace agreement or ceasefire between DRC and the M23, since you emphasize that Uganda is the one who which was hosting the rebellions? Then tell us, Mr. President, there have been so many initiatives between the government of Rwanda and the DRC, whereby your delegation were meeting with the delegation from Congo in Gisenyi and Goma. What were you negotiating about if you really not involved? Tell us, Mr. President, you have been going to Angola for these negotiations. Last time, that's when you were absent and you refused to go, proposally, in a way of supporting the process of making peace in the DRC. So tell us, really, if you are not involved, why were you taking all these initiatives? Tell us, Mr. President, what about Rwandese soldiers who are being captured in DRC on the war front. Some are being killed. Some are even speaking out and expose and explain how they are in Congo and where they come from. Remember, Mr. President, Rwandese soldiers are our brothers because we are Rwandese. They have families which they came from, where they are born from. They have areas where they grow up in. They have schools where they went to. They were studying with many students. So it's very difficult to hide and say that or deny that these are not Rwandese soldiers while they have their own family in Rwanda. Tell us, Mr. President, what about the military equipment which were traced by UN, MONUSCO, which you installed in Gisenyi and the Congo? You want to tell us that all those things are lies? Mr. President, I also take note of how you're criticizing the so-called experts. Like you said, I will repeat your words. The so-called experts, whereby you even disagree of what they say or what they accuse Rwanda. You also went far and sabotaged the International Organization of Human Rights Watch in their reports, where they reported that the Rwandan soldiers were seen on the soil of Congo. Yes, indeed, Mr. President, we have right to criticize them. But on my side, I don't understand why. Actually, you should thank them because they always talk, but they don't take actions. These reports, and you also criticized even the so-called powerful countries, like you said. Yes, indeed, because you work together. If you were not working together with them, or if you were not in the complot to keep on stealing the minerals of Congo, they should have been sanctioned you like they do to other countries and other presidents who misbehave, who disturb other countries, other securities countries. They should have sanctioned you the way they sanctioned Russia for their invasion in Ukraine, but yet Rwanda is not sanctioned while they always invade the DRC. For sure, that's the truth, which shows that you work with them in stealing the minerals in Congo. There are also many other examples which proves that you work with those big countries like France. Look at in Mozambique, what your soldiers are doing there. Look at we also saw your soldiers in Central Africa Republic. In Benin now, they are the ones who are guarding the current dictator president. Mr. President, you also spoke a lot about FDLR, and you claimed that the DRC refused to fight them or to give you a chance or to allow you to go and fight them, like the way Rwanda, like the way Uganda is fighting ADF, the way Burundi is fighting Red Tabara. Mr. President, you are lying. Since 1996, you invaded the Congo in a partnership with Uganda and Burundi. You killed Rwandese refugees under the pretext of fighting FDLR. Millions of Congolese civilians perished and displaced. You removed the President Mobutu and replaced him with President Rwanda Kabila, whom you worked together in fighting all those refugees and those ones you call FDLR. Later on, you killed him because he was sick and tired of your behavior and your stealings, whereby he took a decision by asking if you would take back your soldiers in your country. Rather than listening to him, you decided to kill him. You have been fighting FDLR after replacing President Laurent Desire Kabila. You replaced him with Joseph Kabila. You have been fighting FDLR together. You killed many of them. You repatriated by force many of them to Rwanda. Instead of putting them taking them back in a civilian life, you decided to train them and send them back to DRC to fight on your side. Those same people you always accuse of committing genocide. We have General Paul Kagame is with you in Rwanda with many FDLR members. We have never heard you. We have never heard you even one day accusing him of committing genocide. For those in Rwanda, you have never accused them of committing genocide. You have turned genocide as a political tool to harm or to silence anyone who do not want to submit under your criminal leadership. Those FDLR you talk about, you want to tell us that the same people were fighting in Rwanda in 94, 96, till today in 2025 are the same people you are fighting? What a lie, Mr. President. Be honest and sincere. Tell us. It's visible that the people you call FDLR are the young generation who were born early 90s, 2000. Those are the young people who can still have, who are still have power to fight. Not those ones you always call genociders, because those ones you are in the same age group with them. That means even yourself, you cannot go on the front, on the whole front line to fight. The same applies to them. They can't also go to the war front. Mr. President, General Kabarebe was the chief of staff in the DRC. Why didn't you finish FDLR? Mr. President, when Tshisekedi took power or went to power, you were the first person whom he visited and contacted in the region because he was seeking for peace. He allowed you daylight to go to Congo and you fought the FDLR together. You even killed General Mudachumura. You repatriated the FDLR who were in Kamina camp. So I don't understand when you say that DRC did not allow you to neutralize or to fight FDLR. I will emphasize on this. You said that M23 has right to fight because they have refugees in Rwanda. Therefore, the FDLR as well still have the same rights to fight against your regime, because Congo also has Rwandese refugees whom they did not invite, as you said, the same way you said as well. Therefore, the same way you ask the government of Congo to negotiate with M23, I would also ask you to negotiate with FDLR. Actually, I see that the Congo have been so much gentle and humble to you. Otherwise, if I was the president of DRC, I would do the same thing that you do. It should be a game of tick and tack. The same way you arm M23, you finance them, you give them soldiers, and then you send them to the soil of DRC to fight. That's what the Congolese also supposed to do. They're supposed to help FDLR, arm them, give them soldiers, and send them to the soil of Rwanda so that they can also fight for their rights. But Congo does not do it. Why? Because they understand the sovereignty of the country. For you, you disrespect neighbors. That's why you always do what you do. So, Mr. President, stop lying to people. Stop misleading the world. Stop misleading the young generation. Congo is not a ground for battle, whereby whoever claim that I have my opposition in DRC, then everyone, each and every country will carry the arms and go and fight the opposition in DRC, like what you were talking about, ADF and the Red Tabara or FDLR. You should develop a mind of negotiation so that the region can have peace.
Oh, good, Mr. President. Oh, now I now understand. In your other interview, you spoke openly that Rwanda have forces in DRC, and therefore nobody should question you about that, because you are protecting Rwanda on the soil of Congo in order to stop FDLR to invade your country, Rwanda. It's now clear, Mr. President. But so surprisingly, you also mentioned that the President Tshisekedi of the DRC was not elected. So, Mr. President, how do you know that? Are you a Congolese yourself? How was your interference in the elections of Congo? Tell us more so that we can know. In another way, Mr. President, you know that yourself since 2000, you have been on power in Rwanda, and you've never been elected. You only give yourself votes of 96%, 98, 99.99% in those committees which you call elections. So, Mr. President, it will be better to stop interfering in DRC's politics, because the danger now is coming for you, as you spoke well that and you agreed that you have forces on the soil of Congo. That means that whatever the group of experts were mentioning and writing is true, because you also accept it by yourself. Thank you so much, Mr. President.